Okay. What about...
I remember, I'll tell you what kind of a school we had. It was a school full of guys like you see in any pub in the East End of London. The kids were mostly from dysfunctional families, judging by the way they dressed and the way they smelt and the way they spoke. Now both Geoffrey and I were brought up in a religious, very Masorti household, and Shabbat afternoon we would go to the library. There were no TV, radio was only on for the news, or whatever Gerald wanted to watch, my older brother, and there was no entertainment. We didn't yet have bicycles, so I wasn't yet 13, because I got my bicycle at 13. But we used to go to the library, I used to read, I still do. And I remember a school inspector came round and they were going to every desk. And
What for? What were they inspecting?
Inspecting the kids.
Why? What for?
To see where the standard of education is going.
Since...
This was
why?
what today they would call it, I think, Ofsted, which is now under scrutiny because somebody committed suicide because of their grading. But in those days, there was a lack of teachers, and many were coming back to the profession after being in the army and the war, and
Okay, understood.
and the standards were crap.
So the inspector was going around inspecting
He was
the
going
kids,
around seeing if there
asking
was any
questions.
standards, and they stopped at this one. What do you do? How do you spend your free time? What do you enjoy doing? Oh, football. I go wrestling. I like this. I like. I don't know.
How old were you? 12?
11.
Okay.
And they asked, did you read? No. No, now and then. There was, I like to go to flicks. Most kids,
Flicks,
what do you
the
like?
cinema.
Flicks. Yeah, cinema. I like to go around, kick a ball around, I kick a this, I kick a that, right? I like rugby, I like cricket, I like this, I like that, I like that. They came to me, what do you do? Read. What are you reading? I said, at the moment, yeah. What are you reading now? At the moment, I was reading The Road Back.
The Road Back.
Road Back. Oh yeah, who wrote that? Eric Maria Remarque. Oh. And what's it about? I said, it's about the First World War and how people came back to civilization after a war. What did you read before that? Oh, I read this was sequel to All Quiet on the Western Front, which is a classic. I read that. And he walked over to the teacher. I heard this and he said, okay, pretty average, but what's with that kid there, the Lewis? He's read 2 books which are far beyond his. He's Jewish. Oh.
Was that something that was usual for Jewish kids to be so well read at that time?
Different from all the others. I'll say no more.
Why not?
Because there is a difference between the way the Jews behave and the way the non-Jews behave.
Why were the Jews so much more well-read than the non-Jews? Why does that happen? Why did that happen?
The way Jews... Look, I'm not educated enough to be able to spout all the psychological mumbo-jumbo, but Jews were depressed. They weren't allowed this, they weren't allowed that, so we've always been low profile. You never see Jews in the pub.
Why didn't Jews go to the pub?
When I went to the RAF, I got called up. For the first time in my life, I found myself in Gentile community, forced.
Yes.
Leaving a Jewish home in Golders Green, called up to go to RAF Cardington, the middle of Jennemersveld, with screaming Gentiles, Goyim as we called them, and it was a totally abhorrent and foreign atmosphere for me, environment. I was fish out of water, but immediately rushed to join in with the others and be the same as the others until it came to eating. I couldn't eat food. I managed. And gradually I realized that the nucleus of the English Gentile doesn't matter what class they're in, the whole lot. The upper class, the middle class, the working class, drink plays a big, big part. Booze. It's
see.
the cement of the society.
I
With
understand.
Jews, education.
I see. I see.
Put it into your kids. Put it into your kids. We put everything into our kids. The goyim, they put everything into their body, into their gut.
I understand.
Booze,
That
booze,
seems
booze.
to ring a bell. That
So
seems to ring
I-
true. Yeah.
After my first 6 months, and I was permanently in a, I was in the Air Force, so we were the flight. We were Flight 101. We didn't see any airplanes because there weren't any. It was a ground base outside of London, and 21 guys in the room. We were all attached to supplies and catering, and we had work to do which no Jewish boy would even dream of.
Why? What kind of work was it?
I had to take inventory in a room in Woolwich, a freezer room of something like 350 carcasses of pig.
Oh my God. Oh.
And I had to count that there were so many and make a list of that. And then I was taken to another base where I was told to examine all the fire appliance, chibuyesh appliances.
Right.
And at the end of it, we all had to go to the pub. And I didn't know what to do in a pub because I'd never been in one. I didn't know what to ask for, I didn't know how you behave, I did not know. I liked to drink a drop of beer, but at my home, I used to buy it. My mum didn't mind. I used to like woodpecker cider and Courage Brown and Truman's True Brown. I like Truman's True Brown
How
because
do you remember all of these things? It's
I remember there was a
crazy.
big brewery in Brick Lane. There was a big sign across Brick Lane, Truman's Brewery. And people sold their souls for this stuff. And I couldn't understand it. So off we trooped to the pub.
Right.
The Dover Patrol in the Great North Way. That was it, the road to Dover. It was a Great Southern Way, sorry. Today it's the road to the Channel Tunnel. Anyway, we all go to the Dover Patrol, which is a super pub. And all 15 of us, we go in, and they go, right. So I didn't say a word, we're all mates, but I didn't know what to do. So they, Brown? Yeah. Draft or bottle? Draft. I didn't know. I said, well, what do you have? Draft. I'll have draft. Along comes a pint of draft. So they drink it, and I think, how am I going to get through this pint? But most of them have got through half of it already, but I was still looking at it.
Oh God.
I got through half of mine, and they said, right, who's up next? And I'm looking to see what they're doing. Come on, Jerry. I was called Jerry because of my name was Lewis, so they called me
Jerry,
Lewis.
because Jerry Lewis, right, I got
Come
you.
on, Jerry. You're going to have to catch up. I was already that's a half a pint. It'd take me all night to drink half a pint, and I just about got through half a pint, and I already needed a pee, and they were already ordering up the next pint. So I thought, wait a minute, there's 15 of us, that's 15 pints. There's no way I can drink, and I didn't want to pay for 15 pints. So I said, wait a minute, guys, how many of these are we going to be drinking? Well, as many as we can get through before we throw up. This is quite normal, you've seen this yourself.
Yeah.
You saw some girls doing that. Don't have fun unless we throw up. But this is foreign culture to me. I'd never seen this sort of thing before. I knew it existed. I've seen people walking around drunk. I've seen them coming in to my mother's shop, and you see them in the street, but I didn't think I'd be associating with them.
So you asked them how many, and they said as many as we can get in, and then
I
what?
said, well, they're not going to have to stop because I can't do it. Smell. I
Smack.
said, I can't drink. What can't you drink? I said, well, I don't drink. I do, but, well, you do or you don't? What's the matter with you? I said, well, I'm a Jew, and Jews don't, you're not a Jew? I said, I am. No, you don't. You are? Yeah. But they don't drink. I said, not in pubs. Why? because we don't like what they say about us, and we don't go out the pubs. Well, I never said anything. What, you never told a Jew story? Yeah, well, of course, being amongst all the lads, yeah. But normally we talk about women. I mean, I couldn't find anything in common, ever, with these guys. Except one guy, two guys, Clem Hughes, 6 foot, Yorkshireman, never knew what a Jew was.
Oh my God, that's
Never
brilliant.
heard of them, never seen them, didn't know what they were. Oh, they got 2 heads or something. Oh, they got 2 fucking heads. They're the same as you and me, aren't they? No, Jews is different. Oh, long noses and horns and fuck knows what. But they believe all that shit. And the other guy I liked very much was John Braybrook, a priest's son, who watched me like a hawk that I wouldn't eat anything that wasn't kosher. He was worried. When it came to Christmas,
Why was he worried?
he wanted to make sure I didn't break my dietary laws with anything that had nothing kosher. He was a very, very, very Orthodox Christian who liked Jews. When it came to Christmas, there were 5 of us who had to stay on the base all Christmas to keep the place running as it should. And we were a posh little base. And the only way to get things done democratically was draw straws. So he who takes the short straw has to stay behind on the base. And everybody wanted to go on for Christmas. They all had, some of them had wives, girlfriends. You never heard of any homosexuality. Didn't exist in those days. Hadn't been invented. Although we had one boy in our room, Johnny Moon. If I would have been that way inclined, I would have fancied him.
Aw.
But we all liked him very much. He proved to me that farts burn.
That what?
Farts burn.
Farts burn?
Yeah.
Because of what you eat, obviously.
He bent down and he let a rip, and somebody
Oh, I see, a flame.
and it shot out, and I whacked him on the bum because I got terribly worried that his pajamas would catch fire. I always remember that.
Wow. So you were afraid that his pajamas would catch fire?
Yeah, because I'm not kidding you. It's blue. The flame was blue, and it really worried me.
Wow, that is insane.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. Okay, so that was
Actually,
that
depending
bit.
on what you eat, you can really do damage. It's dangerous. It was talked about for quite a bit. Anyway, I've gone off.
No, well, you said you were talking about homosexuality wasn't even invented.
No, there wasn't any trouble. There were, but you never.
So after you said that
everything was covered up.
that you're Jewish and they found out you were Jewish, what happened then?
Oh,
because
yes,
you
Christmas
don't.
time.
Christmas time.
So I got the long straw.
You were talking about a short straw.
I had short straw stays behind. I got a long straw.
What do long straws do?
A long straw means you can go on leave.
Ah,
But the 5 short straws have to stay behind.
right. But you don't celebrate Christmas, so...
No, but that's the whole thing. So I saw the Johnny Braybrook. I said, what do you get? He said, I've got a short straw. I've got to stay behind. I said, well, I've got a long straw and I'm going, but I don't have Christmas. No, you have Hanukkah. I said, that's right. It's now, so swap. You would? Sure. And he went, and they were all looking at me with envy and admiration. Mixed. I wish I was your mate.
Aw.
Those that had to stay behind. But staying behind was good. We had roast beef, roast turkey, and we had Yorkshire pudding, and we had Christmas pudding, and rum. They actually had rum. I liked rum after that. That was the story of my 2 years in the RAF.